Warning: the following presentation may be disturbing or triggering to some viewers. All information on this channel is provided by the local news and is public to all viewers for your own research. Viewer discretion is advised.
Wagwan, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Talk the Things podcast. I want to thank you guys for putting a whole bunch of suggestions in the comment section of my last video with trying to figure out how I should name the series, right? The new series that we're doing. Well, it's not really a new series, but I want to pick it up again because I realize that you guys really enjoy when I talk about buildings and all the crimes and stuff that's happening in the buildings or the building complex. And we're going to do other complexes. We're not just going to do buildings. We're going to do housing complex with actual townhouses. We're gonna do bare things I have planned. But I think I picked a name. I seen a name that I liked. I'm not gonna say it yet, but I think we have a name. But today we're gonna be doing a continuation episode where I'm just doing a part two off of my last episode where we were talking about 2737 and 2757 Kipling. And now we're gonna be talking about 2777. Now everybody was asking me in my last video, why didn't you talk about 2777? I'm so surprised. It's because it simply never had as much information on it or available out on the news. You guys have to remember, we don't give out too much. We talk amongst ourselves and we know what we know. So when you guys are saying in the comment section there's so much more things that's happened, I don't live in the West on the ground to know like how you guys who previously lived in the building will know what going in them area. All I can do is search up whatever I can try find on the news. And if the news doesn't have everything, because the news don't know information to always put out, they're not gonna have nothing for me to read off of. Like I put in the intro of my video, everything is off of the news so that nobody can say that I'm exposing them or that I'm taking information I'm not supposed to be talking about because everything I talk about is already out there. Now, a lot of you guys in the comment section was saying 777 has bare things. You need to talk about some of them. And some people put some personal stories in there that we're going to be talking about today. But there isn't much information. There's only one real case where I can find. And the other things you guys just see how this case plays out because it's actually pretty interesting. So starting off with this building, the first thing that caught my eye that was weird as fuck, everybody who's lived in buildings, I grew up in buildings. When I tell you I've lived in probably well over 10 buildings, no elevator has a 13th floor. It just doesn't. I've never seen it before. And people say it's because it's cursed. People say because a whole bunch of different things. But I realized that none of the buildings that I've ever lived in or that any building I've ever gone into has a 13th floor. I lived in buildings that go up to about 20 something. And when it reaches time for 13, it will just go 12 and it will skip to 14. But not with this building. This building has a 13th floor. And one of the cases that we're going to be talking about, the first case we're going into happened on the 13th floor. So let's get into that case. We're going to be talking about a person that went by the name of Orlando Grundy. He was 22 at the time of this case. Now, we can't be sure if he lived in 2777 because, it doesn't show if he lived there or not, but it shows that him and three other people were in an apartment on the 13th floor. So they were in apartment 1308. And I'm not surprised with everything that started to happen. I'm not surprised, bro, that this was on the 13th floor. But it was Saturday, February 12th, 2005, around 5:03 p.m. when police responded to a call for gunshot. They were saying that there was bear shooting happening. So they went over there. They went over to apartment 1308 where they found Orlando and two others shot. Now, Orlando was pronounced dead at the scene while the two other people was picked up and brought to hospital. And they ended up surviving. So they could be well and fine today. Hell, they could probably be watching the video. But that's all we have on case number one. Like I said, not much information on some of these cases when we do these videos because of how old they are. There's just not much information. Now, this case is a case that happened, case number two. This was in my comment section of my last video. I found this. A person was saying that their dad was involved. Well, not involved, but was a witness to a case. Now, this case would never been put on the news because of the circumstances of it. But let's just talk about it. So there was a lady who lived on the 18th floor. And from what we have, from knowledge that I have that was put in the comment section, she ended up jumping off of the 18th floor, just an ordinary offing themselves, right? Now, news never really covers when that happens. I don't think they actually cover it at all when that happens, unless it's a murder offing themselves. I can't say that S word, but if they just off themselves, it's not going to go nowhere. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because the man said that his dad had to use his jacket and cover the body when the body got to the ground. Now, when I talked about a case in, I think it was Chalk Farm, there was bare people that kept flying off the balcony. And there was a case where a lady flew off of the balcony and the people were molesting the body when it reached the ground. And the same question I had for that is the same question I have for this. When the body touches the ground, where's your jumping off of the 18th floor? Does their body not just disintegrate and just burst into mush by the time it reached the ground? Like, I don't know. The man said that his dad put his jacket over. Let me just read the comment straight for you guys so you guys can see. So the person says 2777. I bet a lady jumped from the 18th floor and landed right in front of my dad when we lived there. I remember he covered her with his jacket. She was 18. So an 18-year-old jumped off of the 18th floor. I mean, that's just crazy. You have to wonder what happened to why she would have felt like that. But one thing I realized with this building is that people called it the Sui building. And once again, I can't say the word, so try to figure out what I'm saying when I say the Sui. But they say that they nicknamed 2777 the Sui building because of how much times people were just offing themselves in this building, kept offing themselves, kept offing themselves. But somebody was saying something in the comment section that kind of brought something to my attention, and it even made me remember a next case that I did that turned out to be in the same area. It's just bare connecting them, starting to connect now. But there's a plaza right across the street from 2777. And from what I've heard, I heard this plaza, bro, it calmed down now, but this plaza was crazy. And even up to recent days, there's been a couple events, and I want to talk about some of them. Now, if you guys remember, there was a case I did just the other day on a person named Amir Narain. This was in 2019. And just a quick overview for the story for those who don't know, you guys can go back and go watch it. It was a guy who went up with his friend, and he used to live in this area. He probably lived in one of the three buildings, them, I'm not sure. But he lived in that area. He moved to Brampton or Caledon, and he was out there. He had some friends, and him and his friends went out for the night. But his mom realized that she couldn't get a hold of him, so she's like, where is this guy? And then by morning time, they realized that the friend them killed him, put him in his own car, drove his car to that plaza, parked the car there, and left the car there with him in the back seat dead. And when somebody pulled up in the morning time, they thought that the person was passed out, but they're like, nah, something's wrong. So they called police, and that's when they checked the camera on him and realized that the car was brought there at nighttime and that he was dead in the car from nighttime. And it was his friend them that drove the car back over there. So if you guys never seen that story, you guys can go watch that story. It's on my channel, a couple videos down. Now I want to talk about the next case that happened in the same plaza. This happened in 2015, March of 2015. And I don't know if the TD is still there, but there was a TD there. And around 4:30 p.m., there was a 34-year-old lady who was just in there, I guess making her transaction, doing whatever. And we don't know if this man knew her, but a man ended up coming into the store with a big long knife like a machete and started stabbing the lady up right there inside of the TD. So the man runs away now, runs out of the store, and look how more that evening police get a phone call of some injury or some incident that happened at Martin Grove and Albion Road. This was around 8:22. So they wind up going over there to go look what go on. When they find the same man that was stabbing up the lady in the TD, he was injured somehow. It doesn't state the injury, but what it says is that he wound up dying just a little bit more. When they brought him to the hospital, he died. So that was a weird fucking story. We don't know what the motive was, why the man went in there and started chopping up the lady inside of the TD, and then what happened, look more that he died just, I don't know if it's too far from here, Albion and Martin Grove. Once again, I don't know the west like that, but it sounds like it's around that area. So look a bit little more now. He's up the road and they kill him. Why did they kill him? Did the people them that he stabbed up in the bank send people to go kill him? We don't know what happened, bro. We don't know what happened. But like I said, not much information could I find on 2777, but everybody wanted me to talk about it. So this is what we're going to do. If you have any more information or any more cases or anything like that you want me to talk about that happened in this building, even though we're going to move on and go to some other places now, I want you guys to still let me know in the comment section and let me know what you think about this situation down below. If you lived in 2777, I mean, I just have so much people saying that it's haunted. I just have so much people saying you should have talked about it. You didn't talk about it. But now that I talked about it, I mean, there's not that much information we had on it. It's just, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about the situation. And we will talk next time on Talk the Things podcast.
Yeah, I'm a pretty little Barbie. Got the body of a daddy.